Hello guys, it's Rich with Pit Lane Sim Racing. I hope you're doing very well indeed. Here I am with a race report from RFactor 2. This was the mini challenge in the Monday competition system, and I thought I'd go along and give it a go because, you know, why not? I've got the content and they're putting the servers on for free, so let's go and have a race. Getting a pretty decent start there. That was my first standing start in the mini that I've had, so I was really quite happy to gain 2 places there at the start. I'd not had any practice. I'd had probably, I don't know, 6 laps in practice and qualifying for this session, and I qualified 9th. So having taken those 2 spots, I was trying to settle in, keeping an eye on my mirrors, and just trying to size up what was going to happen with the race, how would the car evolve throughout the race, so on and so forth. Someone on the inside of me there grabbing a space or trying to grab a space, but obviously around here I realised they're going to be on the outside, and in this mini it should guarantee me getting past. So we're coming out onto the straight and contact ahead. The green car there seemed to get a little bit, I don't know, I mean, I wouldn't like to say he got off the other guy, but it was a little bit needless, the contact there. Coming up towards turn 1 for the first time at racing speeds with a couple of cars behind me. Got a little bit of a nudge there. The guy got a little bit familiar, and I believe he spun or had a huge moment behind me. I wasn't trying to put him off. I was still feeling out the car. But now we find ourselves in 4th from starting in 9th. A slightly negligent shift there, unfortunately. But luckily I got away with it. Out onto the straight, looking in my mirrors, and I realise it's my good friend Jason behind me. And I already decided if he was to catch me up, let's do a little bit of shake and bake. So I am pushing forward and thinking, look, these 3 are dicing. And in these little cars, you know what it's like in any formula really, any class of car. If you've got a few cars battling, that's your prime opportunity to catch. So I thought, you know what, if it's Jason behind me, which it was, if he's got the pace, I'm not going to mess him about, you know. I'm going to try and follow him because he'd had a little bit more practice than me. He'd out-qualified me as well. I jumped him at the start there. And, you know, I wasn't sure whether these 3 would pull away or we would be able to catch. But this is ideal, isn't it? This is what you want to be seeing. You want to be seeing them going 3 wide like that, up ahead of you, giving you a good chance, because undoubtedly a couple of them are slowing up more than is ideal here. As we turn in, I'm really trying to not wheel spin at the front, not understeer. Really trying to open the steering and use all the track out there so that we're not scrubbing any speed in these little minis. And I'm still unsure if there's any particular slipstream draft in these cars. So I'm getting into line here, just if I can pick anything up. Into here, I was really struggling with understeer. As you can see, the car tripoding somewhat with the rear left picking up off the floor. Into the final corner, Jason keeping very, very close, and I was super aware of this. And quite honestly, I had no interest in racing him at this point. I was really thinking this is a 20-minute race. He's right behind me. He's flashing his lights. If he gets a run into cops here, he can have it, you know, and I'm going to tuck him behind him. So I brake a little bit early, and up the inside he goes. A little bit of oversteer expected there. So now I'm thinking, right then, I get to test whether there's much slipstream. And, well, Jason's a good racer, raced him years, known him years, so I know I can trust him. You know, anything silly, it's by pure accident. He isn't one to do anything silly, you know. So I'm already thinking, right, I'm going to see if there's a slipstream here. I'm going to bump draft him. And as you get closer, look, you can see, you just start catching. So I think about it this lap, but I don't properly do it. I just get close, I'm sizing it up. He's not aware of my plan, but I just think, you know what, let's both of us get in amongst this top 3 and see if we can cause them some bother, you know, why not? 2 cars is better than 1 in trying to cause them some issues. Our positioning we can sort out later in the race. I did drop back a little bit there. Out of the final corner, I was struggling a touch. But I drop into line. Now I know there is quite the slipstream here. I thought, you know what, I need to drop into line. I need to be smooth. These minis, while tiny, they do seem to punch quite a hole in the air. And I guess these aren't the most powerful of vehicles. So let's drop into line. We've already caught up a lot here. Let's see if I can push Jason down the next straight and see what we can do. Let's get in amongst these three and annoy them. You know, make a nuisance of ourselves. Make this a 5-car fight instead of a 3-car fight. I'm not close enough to push him here. So I'm looking at the 3 ahead. Is there going to be drama? Really thinking about my braking point. Trying to get it turned in nice, super smooth. A little bit of air caught by the red Mini there. Jason's Mini tripod in. They're so dynamic. They're really softly sprung, and they're on like old style, is it bias ply tyres, so there's not an abundance of grip. But I was sure when I tested this car out when it was first released that these would be absolutely great for this kind of racing. So thank you to Studio 397 RFactor 2 for putting these servers on. Jason threw on that red Mini just ahead, so he got slowed up by the Union Jack Mini, and I'm like, okay, well, we've got an opportunity here. We are in amongst the top 3 now, so I'm going to stick myself in here. I get past Jason. I've got the red Mini on my inside here. The car ahead, look, understeering terribly. Oodles and oodles of steering lock. I run a little bit wide, so we drop into line here. I'm like, let's see if we can pick up that slipstream now. We're all in a line, so it'll be quite powerful, like a triple slipstream. Jason having a look there, as is the red Mini, but the Union Jack Mini getting very defensive on that and running wide, locking up somewhat. I'm just keeping it nice and tidy, biding my time, not trying to make any passes. 20 minutes in these is a fairly long race. A little bit of door banging, harmless. You expect it, you know, in this. Nothing untoward, but here we go. There's a little gaggle onto the start-finish straight again. Getting into the slipstream. Very, very close, past the red Mini. There's a line of 3 of us now. I'm not attacking, even though I am on the outside of Jason. I brake, I get into line again. Trying not to compromise my line. Trying to maintain the speed. Now we go 3 wide, 4 wide. Coming up to the left and the right here. 4 wide, nice and tidy. Beautiful racing. Well done to everyone involved. I don't know all your names. It's the first time I've raced this, so from like the people who I raced with in this race was superb. We obviously saw the incidents earlier on, but fantastic. And from started 9th on the grid, we find ourselves in 2nd. So that's fantastic. And I think, well, that guy's just run wide there. Jason is right on my back bumper. I can see that in the mirror. So I'm thinking, let's probably do the same. If Jason gets a run on us, you know, let's not mess about. Let's try and bump draft and catch, you know. He has had pace on me, and he got muscled out in that gaggle somewhat. So let's push on. Let's see what we can do, because I don't know the guy ahead, right? I have no idea of his pace. Jason moving to the inside, so I brake a touch early. I allow him past, and I try and maintain some corner speed just to tuck him behind, and this is where I really start to bump him. Like, I'm really getting square on, and I really start giving him a good old shove. And backing off, plenty of time just before the braking zone. I don't want to disrupt him there. I'm not trying to crash him off or anything like that. I'm just trying to maximise what we've got going on. We want to catch the leader. None of us have got a chance of winning if we don't catch the leader. So down this straight, I am bumping him all the way down, as you can see. I back off probably 5 or 6 metres early. I didn't push him wide there, not at all. But like I say, he wasn't aware of my plan, but he knows I'm a fair racer, you know. But he will have felt I was pushing him, for sure. He'll have felt it. But it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't violent. And I think, well, the gap's coming down a bit. Let's see if we can keep in his slipstream. Let's keep an eye on the leader. Let's keep an eye on what's going on behind us. I'm wanting the cars behind us to get in a battle. Now, I'm not going to push him into cops because it's just, you know, So I brake a little early, think about my turning point. He's got some oversteer there. That's okay. So let's get in there behind him and let's see if we can give him a little shove before the left and the right. I think I'll back out of this one because we're a little bit close to the corner for my liking. I'm not actually going for a move there. That's just me braking in a straight line, trying not to lock up. Opening the steering a little bit. Car to my outside there. Getting in line. All of us, like, look, we've all realised now there is quite the slipstream. So that we're all in a really good line now, pushing along. I don't think I'm bumping Jason this lap, but there were definitely a few laps I was pushing him. Guy jumps to my inside there, which is absolutely fine because he'll have the long way around this corner, which I just don't see him holding on to, so I'm absolutely fine with him sitting out there. He's using so much steering lock round there, way more than I was. You can see his front wheels turned. Now I'm looking forward at Jason. Let's stay perfectly in line, see if we can get pulled along up to his back bumper again. Here we are. Not pushing him into cops, thinking about our entrance here. Let's push him on exit. Let's get a good exit here and give him a good old shove. There we go, look. Good old dink there to give him a good old push. We want to get to the leader, and we're with the leader now. So for me, everything's fair game again. We've closed the gap. This is what we wanted. I didn't get bogged down by the people behind. I think that was the red Mini having a nibble. Apologies, mate. I wasn't closing the door on you. I was very focused on what was going ahead of me. Jason now alongside the leader. I'm looking behind me and I'm thinking, well, that's a dive bomb if they're going to go for it. Let's take our ideal line. If we get Jason, we get him. If not, we don't. I understeer. Like I say, I was struggling through here with a bit of understeer. I believe there was a little bit of contact on my left there. I could be wrong. It's all good though. Like this class of car, you expect a little bit of door banging, and it's all done so far. Oh, I was just about to say in good manners, but we just lost the red Mini. Like everything I experienced was just the odd little door nudge, you know. It wasn't anything bad, nothing untoward. Jason having a good look into cops there on the Mini, but not getting it, being very, very kind. And now I'm thinking, well, you know what, we're with the leader now. It's fair game for me to have a run on you. So I'm following the leader down into the right-hander, sorry. Got Jason, keeping things nice and tight, feeding the power on. As we go down the straight once more, momentarily it did give me the 3 wide call there, but we weren't for very long. As we go down the straight now, looking for a braking marker, and braking, I'm really not wanting to understeer, but again I do. I'm trying not to, but Jason's now to my left as I've lost the... Well, I was never really in the lead at this point anyway, to be fair to the chap ahead. Little nudge there from Jason, absolutely nothing doing, it's absolutely fine. As he takes the inside line, going down the start-finish straight again. I'm already conceding in my head, I'm already conceding this place, unless he particularly backs out of it. But then I realise Jason didn't get the memo I had. He's racing me, he's giving me a race, so it's okay, let's go. If we're racing, we're racing. But that's all good. That's what it's about, you know. That's what it's about. We had no prior communication, and my bump drafting him was purely off my own back. So I'm not bothered, you know. It's all good. But I am thinking, oh no, that's allowed the leader to, you know, get a little bit ahead of us. And again, I don't know this guy. He could be absolutely rapid in clear air and get away from us, you know. So we're coming up to the final complex once more, and we're chasing him. Cars all around. Tried a different line slightly there. It really did not work for me in the slightest. But through we go, through the final corner. I'm just keeping an eye on the guy ahead. Is he understeering, or what's he doing? What's his line doing, you know? I go out on the curb and I'm looking in my mirror now. I can see Jason is fighting with someone, so I kind of think, right, well, this is me now. This is me. I'm going after the leader. Let's see what we can do. Let's stay smooth. Let's hope he makes a mistake, and let's stay on it. He sort of has a little bit of a leery entry there. And while I was racing, I looked at the split and I was catching him 10th after 10th down this straight. conservation of momentum is so crucial in these minis. So through here, really concentrating on my braking, trying to do it in a straight line so as not to unbalance the car. You're trying to use the curb to hook round the front end to lessen that understeer. You can see there's a gaggle of 3 just behind me, but I'm honestly not looking at them at this point. I've only got eyes for the leader. So I'm trying to get a little bit of a draft off him, and it's working quite well, to be honest. I'm not quite with him, but we're very, very close. And here we go into the final couple of corners once more. Absolutely fantastic here. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really, really good. Following him through. Looking in my mirror. I believe it's Jason behind me again. I'm not entirely sure. But chasing up the start-finish straight up towards Cops now. We're in the area of getting a little bit of slipstream now. Nothing the driver ahead can do, but he goes mega leery into the first corner. Luckily for me, I was already just thinking about being smooth and being nice and things like that. So we now take the lead, fantastic, but I am very aware how strong the slipstream is. So I think my only option here is to stay as smooth as I possibly can and make the most traction areas and hope that behind me they get into a battle of their own, you know, because it's super, super, super tough to get away in these cars, as you'd expect, really. Into the final complex, keeping everything nice and tight here. Final corner coming up, looking in my mirror, and I'm thinking, there's no way now. I can't get away. There is nothing to get away from here. I don't have the pace. I haven't had the pace all race, quite frankly. So I'm just trying to keep it as smooth as I can. And if the guy makes a move, pretty much like I did with Jason, I'm not going to fight it because it'll cost us so much time, you see. So I'm just thinking, let's do our thing and allow him past when it happens. I'm not going to fight it because it'll cost us so much time. And let's just get our head down and see what we can do towards the end of the race here, because we are approaching that time. Obviously, ideally, I'd like to have stayed in the lead. As I maintain the lead, though, we're coming out onto the straight, and he's right behind me. He is very, very close at this point. I don't bother with going defensive because I know it's a futile notion to do that at this stage. It just is. There's time left to get back past Tripod in there, round the second to last corner, Brooklands I believe, into the final corner. Really good racing that I've experienced so far. Obviously we've seen incidents elsewhere, but everyone around me was superb, very, very respectful. So I'm thinking, right, let's just stick with him here. We've only got a couple of minutes left. This was a 20-minute timed race. Let's stick with him, see what we can do. Let's see where we might be able to make a move. Keeping an eye on it. Okay, he breaks into Cops, but he's nice and smooth. Looking in my mirror, we've got a gap there. It's just me versus him, I think, at this point. So let's see where we can maybe make a move. Into here, could we have a dive? I'd rather not, so I don't. I back out of it in order to try and get a nice exit. I wondered whether he would park it on the apex, but he had no need to. Carried great speed, the chap ahead. So now we're in his slipstream. I'm thinking I can make a move here. If he leaves the door open, I can make a move here. And indeed, he does the same as me, really. He leaves the door wide open. So I get alongside him. We brake. He brakes a little bit later than me. Fantastic. That's okay. I'm thinking, well, I just need to stick with him. And through the last lap, maybe we can have another dive at him, you know. Because we've got one more lap to go after this. But unfortunately for me, coming out of the final corner here, as you can see, I'm not exactly on his bumper anymore. So I really now started to think I need to stay in his sort of slipstream, and I need to be super, super smooth if I'm to catch this, because there's nothing between the cars, right? So we turn it in, and I'm just thinking smooth, 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 you know? Go as smooth as I possibly can and hope that works. Following him down to the left, right. Down we go. And as we go into here, he gives me a lifeline. He takes a really wide line. I'm wondering whether he just locked up like I did. I'm thinking, well, I'm in prime position here. I'm in his slipstream. Fantastic. Let's see what he does. And fair play to him. He covers the inside. I'm like, well, okay, I'll go to the outside of him, but I'm not giving him any more room. I'll brake as late as I dare. He brakes, I brake, and unfortunately for me, I didn't lock up, but there was just no traction to get it turned in. And I have to say, fair play, mate. Fair play. You withheld that very, very nice. So at this point, I'm just bringing it home. There's literally no chance, because if he spins, you know. But there we go. Second place in the first mini challenge race here at Silverstone on the RFactor 2 competition system. Monday nights, 7 p.m. BST. Please do come along and join. Fantastic racing. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks.